Well, welcome everybody. I'm Phoenix Rising Star, and welcome to the Hathor activation. Yes. I think we're on number 13 or 14. I don't know. We've been doing this for a long time. So if you are new to this, you might want to go back to my YouTube channel and find the very first Hathor activation, number one, and then follow them in sequential order, if you would. That will kind of give you an idea of how we ended up where we are for tonight. But it will also, I think you'll be really fascinated that given that numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 were done a year ago, you can really tell that the Hathors have been preparing us for everything that's going on right now. For me, when I went back to listen to it, it was just like amazing. I was like, oh my goodness, it was totally appropriate at the time, but it's totally appropriate now too. If you're not familiar with the Hathors, these are fifth to 12th dimensional beings that are here for our highest destiny. So some people can actually see them, and those that do report that they're usually very large, tall beings, or that their energy is very big, very massive. Um, I'm very auditory, so I tend to hear them talking. Other people feel their energy and have a knowing within them as to what is being transmitted because they're very much about heart to heart languaging, that transmission of energy that doesn't have words to it. So well, that's really wonderful. It does take a while for the brain to kind of figure out what are the right words that match the frequency that you were just receiving. So it's all perfect, however you receive, but just be open to how you receive the best, if that makes sense, because they will come in the way that you receive the easiest, that sense that is the strongest, most powerful for you, because it's easier for them and ultimately it's easier for us. But we don't always know which sense is our strongest. Sometimes we make assumptions that it's going to be this glorious vision, and we're not visual. so so tonight, if this is your first time in working with the Hathors, just start opening your senses one at a time and just kind of do a little litany. What am I seeing? What am I feeling? What am I knowing? What do I hear? What do I taste? What do I smell? And just keep doing that until you start recognizing where you're getting your information and how. And I think this will help you to get the most out of tonight and subsequent times with the Hathors. So, so let's see here. All right. So tonight is the topic is which stepping stones are yours? Now, this is all part of the series, right? Of the last 13, 14, whatever we're on. And this series is all about, well, it's been about taking the next step forward, of course, but the new beginnings, the letting go of the old, trusting your guidance, trusting that truth within you, taking that next step, releasing the fear, releasing any blockages that are in your way. It's baby steps is what it is, but it's perfect because it all helps us to do something different that's totally in alignment with our soul purpose and to help us reach our highest destiny. The Hathors tend to be teachers. And I think many of you have experienced their teachings from time to time. And what I mean by their teachings, they're very wise. You don't get to the fifth to the 12th dimension without being pretty smart, right? And so they're very wise. And what they do is they impart their wisdom to you in a way that helps you to go farther than where you are right now. And so, as we're taking our next step on our path, it's all leading us to a higher soul's evolution because that's why we're here. We are meant to grow and learn and continue growing and learning. We're not meant to stay stagnant, and we're not meant to just say, well, I'll just take whatever. Oh no, we're after joy. We're after a lot of joy. And how do we get to that joy? By doing what we came here to do. And on a generalized term, our soul is here to grow and learn and then turn around and give back to others who might benefit from that. But on a more specific level, each of us has one or more gifts to share with the world. And so, as long as we are working with those gifts and developing them so that they are beneficial, not just to us, but to those around us and making the world a better place, then we are really living our highest destiny. And that's what the Hathors are here to help us do. So it looks different for everybody. Now, I want to share my screen a little bit for the way it works if you haven't been on this before. I usually give a little talk guided by the Hathors. They talk to me. They usually talk to me at night, the night before, and keep me up all night, telling me all the things that they want me to say. And then I forget about that during the day. So then they remind me as we're going along here, and this is how it works. So we talk, and then I'll get you into a guided meditation where you get to experience your Hathor helpers. You will have everybody has at least one. Sometimes people have two or three or more. So it just depends on where you are, what you need, et cetera, et cetera. During the meditation, this is the time where they are helping you to take that step along your path. So sometimes to take that step, you need some clearing or you need some healing because maybe there's some fears or doubts or worries or concerns or inadequacies. And sometimes we just need that information, that next piece. We just need that one little piece that's going to just chunk everything into place. Or sometimes we need a big picture. I need to know where I'm going, and then I can figure out how to get there, type of thing. So they come in, they will give you exactly what you need, whether you're seeing it, sensing it, feeling it, hearing it, etc. If you're one of those that receives in the heart-to-heart transmission, again, you may not have the words now, but the words will come. Sometimes the words will come through another individual or through something you read, or it may come directly to you, but it usually happens within the next 24 hours. So just be open and to allow yourself to receive whatever is in alignment for your highest destiny. I will tell you that based on the reports that I get back from people who are so generous with emailing me things that transpire during these meditations, people have had life-changing events already. I mean, even with the first one, it was amazing. Some people were like, I'm never eating meat again, which really surprised me. I didn't realize that that was going to be something that would come up for their highest destiny, but I understand it, the power of plant-based healing. Others were like, I'm quitting my 9 to 5 job. I hate it. I need to work on my own. I need to just really bring my gifts to the world in my way. I get that, being an entrepreneur, totally. Others had a variety of other epiphanies that would come up, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit tonight. So let me share my screen because I've got some really nice pictures that will help demonstrate what we're doing tonight. All right, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so sometimes when we are ready to take that next step on our path, this is what our path looks like. It's like there are steps everywhere, and it's almost overwhelming because how do you know which stepping stones are yours? And more importantly, what if you took the wrong one? What would happen? That's probably one of the biggest fears that I think we have when faced with overwhelming choices. Now, people that have overwhelming choices are going to be like the super sensitive people or the super psychic people or highly gifted people where they have multiple talents or highly creative people where they see so many opportunities and it's almost just stopping them in their tracks because they don't know what to do next. They have all these options. They could do any of them, but it's like, what if I did the wrong one? Well, for one thing, you notice how all of these stones in this particular picture pretty much all look alike. So if you are faced with that kind of a path where you're getting a whole lot of options and they all kind of have that same generalized feel to them or sense to them, then you're probably not going to make a wrong decision, right? This, as I said, this happens to artists and highly talented people and super sensitive people and super psychic people because there are lots of ways they can live their highest destiny. So if you choose one way now and another one next year and another one the next year and then another one, then you're not making a wrong decision. You're still working within your highest destiny. So it's just about which one do you want to do right now? That's all it is. You are not going to make a wrong decision. Now, if you were looking at, and I should have had a picture for this, and I don't, but if you were looking at like the edge of a cliff and there were no more stepping stones, then you might go, I don't think that's where my path is leading, unless you are meant to fly off that cliff, right? But that's for farther down the road. That's probably not for where you are right now. In this case, when you have lots of options, know that you're not going to make a wrong decision. You won't. You simply won't. Just trust that for now. The Hathors will help you believe in that. Now, here is my cursor. Many times when we are ready to really activate that high level of our soul purpose, something that's so glorious, so wonderful, so in alignment with our heart and soul, something we know we've been aspiring to all our lives, and now here is the opportunity. Sometimes that path is so clear, so well laid out, you can't mistake it. You see exactly where you need to go, you see exactly where it's headed, and it's easy, it's effortless. It's just like, okay, good. I'm just taking one step at a time and I go there. Easy peasy. We don't always get it, but sometimes we do. And this is what it looks like. And it's fabulous. But then sometimes we think we're on a path that looks like it's so clear, so well laid out. And oops, now what do I do? You might have a right-hand turn, you might have a left-hand turn, and it's not really clear which one you are to take. But again, the Hathors are reminding you, you are highly creative people, or you probably wouldn't be listening to this transmission to begin with. And you are not going to make a wrong decision. You notice that both of these paths are identical in terms of their generalized style. So again, it comes down to you could do either one. Which one feels better for you right now? Now, to me, that just makes me feel a lot more relaxed about my decision making. And I hope that makes you more relaxed about your decision making. So, the Hathors would again like to invite you to just kind of go through this litany of when you get to that crossroads, or if you get to that very first picture we had, which was, I think, back here. No, that one, that one. When you get back here, okay, you just pause. This is your time to just do some inner reflection, do some inner receiving work, start to be really clear about what is it you would like to do that would make your heart sing and make the world a better place. Chances are you've known it since childhood. You maybe didn't admit it to yourself, or maybe you told yourself it could never ever happen. But if it could, and your decisions look like this, then you pause and you go, okay, I just need one step for now. What is that one stepping stone that has my name on it? And really, literally, you close your eyes so that you can tap in with your inner eyesight. You can tap in with your inner hearing. You can tap in with your inner knowing, your inner sensing, your skin receptors, your sense of smell, your sense of taste. And between all of those, one of these stones is going to jump up and say, take me, take me. It's kind of like going into a crystal store. If you get really playful and you go, okay, I just want a new crystal for today. Which one wants to come home for me with me? And you might hear this little voice goes, hey, take me. Or you might open your eyes and here's one just gleaming and glowing. Or you might be walking around and you just do a double take because something just seemed to move on the shelf or seemed to just call your name in whatever way it could. It's just like that. So you can be playful with your stepping stones. You can be playful with your soul purpose, your highest destiny, and the path on it. Because the more playful you are, the easier it's going to be and the more fun it's going to be. You don't have to be sweating this. This is really a lot more fun than you might think. So pause, reflect, take inventory, receive one stepping stone, and take that forward action and stop, reflect, receive, take the next one, stop, reflect, receive. It's really all you have to do when it's not really clear. And same thing when you come to a right hand or a left hand turn, stop, reflect. Which one do I want to do this time? You can come back and do the other one another time. There is no wrong decision. And I think the Heathers would like me to talk a little bit more about that too. When they say there's no wrong decision, we have a tendency as a human race to kind of beat ourselves up for not doing something right. And that's learned behavior. That's not our natural soul that says those things. That's what we were taught. And the authorities have taught that to us. Authorities in school, authorities in religion, authorities in our parents, and so on and so forth. So, what they would like you to embody in terms of knowledge of opportunities is that if everything gives you a rich experience and you don't hold on to it with judgment, you don't say, oh, God, that was the worst thing I could have ever done. And neither do you say, yes, that's only the best thing I could have ever done, because that's also judgment, right? So you don't hold on to it with judgment. You just observe and you go, well, what did I learn from that? Okay, I learned from that. Now I can move on and I can do something different. That's all it is. If you don't like where you went, then go someplace else. I mean, it sounds so simple from their standpoint, but it's so true. If you don't like what you've created, you get to create something different. You don't have to hold on to it and beat yourself up and tell yourself how terrible it was. No, that just makes it a bad experience. And we're here to have rich experiences. So don't hold on to anything. Just value it for what information you get from it. And if you don't like it, change it. No shame, no blame. That's the Hathor way, which I really love because I just think it's so simple, so appropriate. Okay, I'm going to stop my share here. All right, so everyone who's on the call, everyone who's listening to the replay is in a place of change. Well, guess what? Our soul loves change. We thrive on change. This is how we grow and evolve and make the world, continue to make the world a better place. So you're ready for more change all the time. Now, it could be just a tiny, tiny, tiny baby step, or it could be a giant step, like moving across country is a giant step, or changing your name is a giant step, or changing your career is a giant step. But little baby steps could be just making an hour for you to meditate and do yoga in the morning. Nothing wrong with that. That brings in peace and well-being and balance and everything else. So don't sweat it if you get a tiny change in your connection with the Hathors. Just like, well, when you say I'm going to stop eating meat, that's not really a tiny change, but it can be compared to a lot of other things. So, but that leads to many other great things. And all it's doing is preparing you for the greater change. So don't sweat it if you get something small, and don't sweat it if you get something large. Your stepping stones will be totally appropriate to get you to all of those places. Okay. Now, I'm just checking in to see if there's anything else that they want me to say, and they're just wanting me to remind you that the way we're going to do this, in just a minute, I'll be turning off my video. I invite you to turn off yours. We'll get into that wonderful love state because everything works better when we're in that love state. And the Hathors love that too. So that helps them to come in so that you can see, sense, feel, and know their presence. At that point where you're seeing, sensing, feeling, and knowing the presence, then you will be introduced to who your Hathor helpers are for tonight. And they will take some time to either do some healing or help you with your next stepping stone information, either through the heart-to-heart transmission or in a way that you will understand within the next 24 hours that will make perfect sense to you. So, and then at the very end, when the Hathors say, okay, we're done for now, meaning some of you will continue to receive through the evening, and others of you will be complete for that moment. Then I'll be ringing the Tibetan bowl, and that way you know that the meditation is complete for now, and the recording will be posted on my YouTube channel. All right. If you have any questions, now's a great time to unmute yourself and just check in and say, "Hey, I want to know more about so and such and such." So, if you have any questions, or put it in the chat. All right. Going to assume nobody's writing a book. And let me just see and make sure nobody's hands are up. Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to turn off my videos. You guys are all ahead of me. You've already turned off yours. Okay. So let's just take a moment to hold love and gratitude in our hearts because these Hathors are so committed to helping us reach our highest destiny. And you are so committed, or you wouldn't be showing up, both for the live version and for the recording. And so thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for making the world a better place. And thank you, Hathors, for helping us to do that. Just allow yourself to get very comfortable where you are, whether you're sitting or lying down. If you are lying down, you may fall asleep. There's nothing wrong with that. It just means you need to go very deeply. If you're sitting, chances are you'll have a more conscious experience, but that's okay too. That's exactly what you need. So you decide. Taking a few long, slow, deep breaths, making your inhale just as long and as slow as every exhale. And pretty soon your shoulders begin to relax, your heart rate slows down, your brain actually slows down as well because you have entrained your brain for meditation and transformation if you've been following this. Good. And to the best of your ability, I invite you to begin thinking of those experiences you might have had with unconditional love. Some people would call it divine love. Others might have other names for it, but it's the kind of love that doesn't judge and it has no strings and no attachments. It's just freely given and it's always there. Sometimes we're lucky enough to have experiences like that with our family or friends that we were raised with, those that just were always there for us and always loved us. Maybe you've had that experience with actually a beloved animal in your life, a cat or a dog or a bird or a fish, maybe even an iguana or a chicken. I've heard a lot of stories about beloved pets in all forms. Or maybe you actually sensed and felt that love at a special time when you were in nature. Maybe it was the rawness of undisturbed natural settings. Or maybe it was the epiphany of feeling one with the air, the soil, the water, the trees, the animals, the plants. Or maybe it was something else entirely different. And if it's too hard to have any memories of this kind of love, or maybe you just never had it in your life, then you can simply chant the words unconditional love or love and gratitude over and over again to get you into that state through your sheer intention. And when you invite love in, what happens is it just starts pouring into your heart and pouring into your heart and pouring into your heart to the point of overflowing your heart and moving all the way through your physical body. And as love is moving through your physical body, it's touching every cell with love, which initiates a change and a healing and a transformation all by itself. And slowly you're filling up with that love, kind of like filling up a glass of water. If you kept pouring the water, once the water reached the top of the glass, it would overflow. And that's exactly what happens here. Love overflows into your energy field. And the first place it goes within your energy field is your physical layer, which is closest to your physical body. And this is the memory of your physical experiences. And all are being touched with love. And slowly that fills to overflowing, and next it goes to your emotional layer, which is the memory of all your emotions. All are valid and all are being touched with love. And that fills you to overflowing into the mental layer, the memory of all your belief systems. All are valid and all are being touched with love. And finally, overflowing into your spiritual layer, which is the memory of all lifetimes, all experiences, and even your ancestors' lifetimes and experiences as they exist within your DNA. And all of that is being touched with love. So you're now sitting in this wonderful cocoon of love. And it's from this place of love that you may become aware of your Hathor helpers. Open your senses and begin to take inventory of how you are perceiving them. And if nothing else, you may feel a wave of love or a wave of consciousness coming from them to you. And it's okay if you don't notice that, but some will. Noticing if you're seeing their energy, hearing their voices, having a knowing that they're there. Maybe feeling a rush of excitement or expansion of your energy. Feeling a heart-to-heart transmission. And so many other ways in which they can make themselves known to you. So I'll be really quiet as they introduce themselves to you. And then they'll begin their work with you tonight. Just allow yourself to receive in whatever way they are working with you, opening all your senses. Receiving your way. And you may start to notice that the energy kind of calms down or slows down a little bit, which is not uncommon. Just indicating that you have gotten the majority of what you needed tonight. And at some point, you probably just move into a very quiet state, still receiving and possibly begin to integrate. and bringing this to completion in your perfect and divine timing. Namaste.